Universities that do very well, and a university like Harvard, which is a private university, and they do well. They complement well, and somehow we don't have that understanding. So what happens is private players try to sort of do as much as they can, right? So, and public tries to be innovative, right? Like government is investing 10,000 crore rupees in this. And what do? They start innovating. Now, that's not what you're supposed to do, but there is a confusion of that kind, which is what I was talking about earlier. Now, the thing is, this third model, which is the premier education model. How does premier education model work? You establish a premier educational center where you sort of, you don't have 200 institutions. You have one institution, which is exclusive, which is exquisite, and you sort of work with that, where a certain kind of quality, very nuanced teaching and work happens. There are premier colleges, premier schools in India. Some of them are coming up in a place like Calicut also, which is amazing. So we have these three models, right? Now, all these three models, we can take something from all these, but we cannot take any of them as such, because we can't take the public education model because we need funds, right? When Dayaparam began, it was thanks to the donors. There were a lot of people, thanks to the good name and the goodwill and the character and the legacy of Sheikh Ansari, we could get a lot of sponsors and Citizen and others, Aidaraji, P.A. Miftah, a number of other people, they all trustees, they all could contribute, and then slowly they sort of created this space. They bought the land, they built the basic things, right? So you need that money, right? So you can't really we don't take any money from the government, so we can't go with the public education model. Once you get into it, there are other problems. Second is the private education model. Private education model, if it's entirely private, then its tendency is to grow by making money. Right? We will make money and then start new institutions without looking at quality. Right? It's not the ideal model, but that seems to be the model that works here, that's been working here around for some time. That we can't take. Now, a premier education center will require us to raise our fee. We can do the third model, but the point is, if we are charging 10,000 rupees per annum here, per year now, you will have to increase it to 1 lakh or 2 lakhs or something like that. That's how a premier institution becomes sustainable. It does a certain kind of work, but it needs that. So, first, because of the funding problems. Second, because of the character of business. Third, because of the people we serve. How do we work? We are a middle class, lower middle class school which provides quality education. In the results, in terms of extracurricular activities, in terms of social activities, in terms of cultural attitude, in terms of the charity work that we do, and in terms of our result, right? We are one of the few schools which maintains 80 plus average, right? We have only 3 in Malabar, and with the third, and in Kerala you'll have about 15 of them. And most importantly, among these new schools that got established recently, like in 30-40 years, we're not talking about the old ones, the new ones. Yes, we are the top among Kerala, and especially among the Muslim management, we're completely the top, but we are among the top 10 schools, right? So we have a problem because we can't take any of this. In fact, we take from all of this. That's my argument. We work in the public education model because we take fee from 90% students, and because everybody who works here managing this is a volunteer, necessarily a volunteer. They don't get anything from it. They don't want anything from it. That's exactly why they come here. And there's what we get after the income, the excess income over expenditure can be spent on this. So we work like a semi-government here. That's what governments are supposed to do, redistribution of wealth, which is one thing that we do here. Second thing is, we work like a private education, what do we take from the second part? We can be innovative because we don't have, government officials or politics or parties, anybody ruling over us. So we can be innovative, we can do new things. So we have managed to do that. And we are a premier education center in the only one, since we are an exclusive organization. We don't work with 20 other organizations and ruin our character, because we stay as us. We maintain our character. We've maintained it over the last 33 years, and inshallah we will continue to maintain that. Now, the best of all models. It's also a social laboratory. You can, so when you talk about this, that you take money from, the other day in a meeting in Delhi, there was some fundraising for some project, a long-term project they were talking about. So I presented, and I happened to be there talking about it. Then I talked about the app, and this was in Central Delhi. There was this, a set of journalists, NGO people, they were all sitting around. So I said, why don't you start a school? So they said, what? Is that a fundraising model? I said, yeah. Because you will initially need some funding, and then once you have the money, you establish a good school, and then people will start coming, and then whatever you get out of it, you spend on charity, on communal harmony issues, whatever you want to do. And you can start something from that. This is a model, right? And then they said, is that possible? But schools will need to charge a lot of money. I said, no. Run a lower middle class school, have numbers, do a lot of management work, very, very focused management work. Somebody has to give up their life for this. It will come up. So it's a model, right? It's also a social laboratory. It's an economic laboratory. It's a social laboratory. And it has distinct features. Tell me about one institution I'm not saying this as a proud Daya Pyramid. I am saying this as a happy follower of what Daya Pyramid has done. I came into this only 14 years ago. It was already set, right? And many of us, many of friends who know who understand the character of Daya Pyramid, Haris sir, a lot of people were there all throughout. I can see some of the people who were here on the first day, but it has something distinct about it, right? Show me one institution which has a Qatari religious scholar giving its defining words, working as the most important source of ethical energy. It's unique in many ways. Show me one organization that is built outside all of these party religious organization space. There's none, right? So when some people ask, many of us who are, I'm speaking for the whole volunteer group, why Daya Pyramid? Oh yeah, it's something special about it. This is unique. So you need to maintain that in the Daya Pyramid model. It has unique assets. Tell me one place where after their father, who was the inspiration, died in 1989, we have had his children, his sons and daughters coming, supporting, giving money, making prayers for us over the last 28 years. That's unique. That's a unique asset. So that's an amazing thing. So what qualifies the Daya for these blueprints? Like I said, there are, we said research work, national, international projects. Then somebody's going to ask, okay, this is what you're going to do. But where do you start? Why should we believe Daya when you say you're going to do this? My argument is that, show this. We have, from 1984 till 2017, Daya life is a straight line. You can say Daya hasn't done this. It's not done something for, it has not been looting people. It has not been inconsiderate to children's needs. It has not been inconsiderate to poverty, to diseases. It has always believed in giving excellent quality education. So that's where you have a commitment to the vision, and that's what gets us all here, makes us excited about this space. And I'm speaking now not just for volunteers, I'm also talking for the students, the teachers, the heads, and everybody, I'm sure. Performance history, yes. Unblemished performance history. You cannot say, okay, they are doing this wrong. I'm not saying they haven't, and I say they because of bunch of people who have been led by citizens who have been leading it. You cannot say they are callous, they are indifferent, they are lazy, they are doing this, they are creative, they are worried, they are doing, they are always thinking about it. 7 days a week for 34 years is a lot of days put together, right? So they have done that kind of work, and we have the infrastructure base. We have the buildings, we have the space, we have colleges, schools, we have an infrastructure base. And then most importantly, we have the goodwill. We have the central thing which is required in this. Oh, the Daya is doing it, it has something, it will have something, right? People don't dismiss us, which is called goodwill capital. Yeah? Now the last, what do we want from them? Remember us. Guide us in spreading the inaugural words. Remind us when we go astray, and pray for us. That's all that we do. Thank you. may I invite Haris to lead the discussion? Oh, maybe, yeah. So, sir, do you want to respond at the end? No, you could talk.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil mursalin Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathiran. I think before I start, I think we should do Al-Fatiha on the soul of Mr. Muhammad Haji, you know, before I start this job. Honestly, I don't know where to start from. Ashley has, you know, destroyed all what I organized in my mind now. So the structure is spoiled, I have to start upside down. I think the best reference to lead now is to start with his presentation. Otherwise, I think I will stay here until sundown, you know, for this. So, you know, bear with me. I will not be organized in my point as he is, because he was preparing for it, and this is all surprise to me. So, you know, first of all, I think I don't know how to use technology, but we can go to the pictures first. So you can put the chairs next to me, and the pictures for all the yes. All the business. No, the other business. See, you see, I just want, you know, just to refer and organize, so I don't want to waste your time, waste my time. It's always very nice to use slides and presentation and this, and I think this is the difference between Siti Abdurrahman and Ashley. You know, this generation has a capability of putting the whole world in their mind and walk. This generation cannot really have two slides in their mind. They have to put everything there. So therefore, because these people came up with technology, and these people, they have to do everything in their mind, they have no technology. So definitely we have to admire and give the whole respect. And I think if we want to really put pictures throughout this canvas, for the foundation of this foundation is this picture, Sheikh Abdullah Ansari and CT. This is the main discussion of the Yakram discussion, and the first, before the milestone, the first milestone before the foundation, this was a general discussion about how to think of purchasing this land, how many square meter, and how can we do it, and everything like that. And we are, as a children back in those days, we say, what is this Indian guy is coming to convince my father about? You know? So now, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And I think if we ought to put two pictures, it's always Siti Abdurrahman and my father. There is always there, they've been always there. He is the one who expressed all the ambition that my father has in mind. My father has put all foundation across the world. I think the one and only one who is sustained with the believer is Siti Abdurrahman. I know he hates that very, very much. But now after all 40 years, I have no other choice. You know, except he's always, every time I reach this campus, he warned me, don't mention my name. Don't come this, don't bring me here, don't do this. But now I think we come to the controversial issue where I think we have to give the credit to the people who owes the credits. And I think with all due respect, with all the charity, and I always say in all my speech, every time I come here, that we've been blessed with the board of directors who really led this foundation to reach this level. And I am very much happy with what I have seen today. And it's always, you know, nice to really, you know, go away for a couple of years and come back, because you really see the development, you know, clearly in the front of eyes. So this is one thing. So I have to really give respect to Siti Abdurrahman, because I think this is the picture who made everything reality. This is where we start from, and this is actually, you know, where we see each other down there. I really, would like, and I have really, because Ashley had made me start this presentation without even giving distinguished regards to the distinguished guests, all students, faculties, teachers, everybody here, from the chairman all the way to the, lower people, lowest man here or woman in this campus. I always give my special appreciation to what they have done, volunteers or not volunteers. This is all charity work. We know that, and we really give a great respect to all the people who does this job. Now, I think Ashley, I never seen Ashley in this so much strong momentum. So, now I must judge him all the way long. Now he has really demonstrated all his abilities. Now I raise my hand. I know I give him everything. Of course, give me the esteem slide. Esteem slide. Esteem. No, esteem. Let me start from the last. I will go opposite, so we break it up first. Okay. See, always my goal and my target is to get you all under one roof here and to get together. And I wish that we have also the students with us. But I think it is the most best group who can really convey the message and the strategy is you, who are people here under this, in this hall. I would like to really, and this is done by this, what Ashley said today, is I think should be a pillars to our vision and mission on our future. A foundation without a mission, without a vision, can be stalled very easily. And definitely, it is very important for you to know, you people, where are you going? And I really appreciate that you certainly spare a couple of minutes for your students to express all this, what has been said. What is this foundation? Where are we going? Because this is actually a very unique structure, which you never see it in another world. What we see in the United States nowadays, it's a domination of one race, and they want to vanish the other race, which has really looked upward from the first week he took presidency. So therefore here, what we'd like to say, this is actually a harmonized, and I think, repeat the slide where you have India and the end, I think, you say, go ahead. You hide some of the slides actually. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. This is see, this slide says India, Islamic and human. Actually we are all human. And I think this is where we really go to more than one complex or more than one concept on Ashley's presentation. I have to give him the credit for this. Actually, in the Quran, قال الله تعالى يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا. This is to be introduced to each other. And actually the call was for the human race. It was not for Muslims. We have so much statements in Quran who forwarded to Muslims. But this is not forwarded to Muslims. It's forwarded to human race. All human race. We have created you all to really, from colors, from different ideology, from different ideology, from different race, from different everywhere, colors, everything, for you to come and be introduced to each other and live. God has provided us with this land, with this earth, with all this, for us to really be convinced that without introduced to each other and live in a very sound environment, this life will be destroyed. This will not be a sound life for a human race. So therefore, this is what we are now here, and this is our target and our mission. This is India. India is the first because we are India. We are all human, and this is the globalization that Ashley was talking about. the human race, that we have to globalize. If we are really successful in what we are doing here, I think this is an education by itself needs to be introduced to somewhere else. And this is what Ashley said, that after really inviting some of the distinguished scholars, they were very surprised at how these people are living. So this is actually an education has to be taught. So this is actually when we said about human. Islamic, we are really sending messages because of this generous religion of really teaching a very much general human values through this. And really definitely we see here Muslim and non-Muslims who really live in tied up together, eating together, teaching together, teachers and students. And really definitely we don't see any difference because of this is actually, once we are accomplished the harmony of this, we accomplish not only the society of India, we are really accomplishing a safar which are now erupting all over the world. This is the whole world eruption right now and all over the earth because of these three domains was not really being accomplished 100%. People are eating each other, societies are eating each other. We have now some Frankenstein personality coming out of the whole world, coming between society in the same house, son coming against father, this is coming against this, because of lack of this education. So teacher have so much obligation on your shoulder. Whatever happens after that, it is because of your fingerprints has put in this child. This child. Now the societies are becoming drifters. You have to really confine your hand around your students and teach him. Because now don't think ever that you could protect your child, your own child, within your dining room, sitting across the table, he might be in the United States somewhere. So don't think that you could really protect him by putting him and closing the doors. You have to protect him by education. This is what Ashley said. Education. Teach him the rights, the normal, the morals, the respect, the dignities. And from there, you will protect him. Then hit him. Let him go. See, we always say, Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib said, he have divided the age on 7 and 7 and 7. You say 7, you play with your child. And 7, you teach him. And 7, you build a brotherhood with him. And then put him in a boat and send him on the sea. This is the concept. So the first 7 and 7 and 7, 21 years, this is your ambition here. And it all is built on the first 6 years. Gentlemen and women here, ladies and gentlemen, the first 7 years. Now, professor says, give me your child the first 6 years, I can make him anything you want. You want him doctor, you want him to engineer, you want him anything, terrorist, he will become in the first 6 years. You can globalize, you can really manipulate, you can really build his personality in the first 6 years. And this is a new teacher. What you see in the whole society, it's somewhere, the seed put wrongly somewhere, and it builds that way. So I want to really now, actually give special appreciation to Ashley in this presentation. And I don't want to go through all the presentation because I think we can sit ages here to really, build the documents for this. But I think this is now has to be cascaded down to all our students. My child, this is what you should know, this is what you should not know. You should be protected from this. This is what you do. Teach him the general things. And this is actually built all in Islam. Easily you can find it on the top of the table instead of you are digging it somewhere else. And I think this is really going to be an ideology and a path for him to go all his life, to be protected in his life. I don't want to really now take that much of your time, but I think I know that I have forgot so many things like I told you, but thank you very much for everything, and thanks for Siti and distinguished guests here and all faculties, children and brothers and and everybody here and in the campus. And I really appreciate what has been done today. And we say, dua and rahmah on Haji Muhammad, and special thanks on the top of all for Akhuna Faisal, who's in his contribution, also rahmah and his father and a prayer for him. And definitely this is gone by barakah, actually, because of the loyalties and honesties of people who comes here and contribute. God has willing to really pull this foundation to really bring it up. Inshallah, we'll always be here for it, and we will always pray for it. Like what he needs from us, actually, we'll be always happy and give it away. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abdulaziz Ansari sir, for that wonderful, energizing, kind, as always, presentation. And thank you so much for appreciating all that I would still say they've built for us and which we need to take forward. And let me now invite K. Harris sir, trustee and the president of school managing committee, and well-known, one of the most innovative educationists in Kerala now, to lead the discussions.
Assalamu alaikum. Our mentor, inspiration, Abdulaziz sir, they have no family fraternity. I'll directly come into the point. I see things from a very educational perspective because I'm an educationist, and I prefer to see they have them from a purely educational perspective. I list out 7 points why I am connected to their work. Number 1, everybody in the